I've been watching a lot of anime recently due to Patreon and Super Chat requests. Since I'm not normally an anime viewer, it's been interesting to see what I've been missing, though this next request is one that apparently quite a few people have been missing too. I'm sure most of you have at least heard of a little show called Cowboy Bebop, or Samurai Champloo, maybe even Space Dandy. Of course, my audience might know of Samurai Flamenco. A little of these anime all came together for the 2008 show Michiko Hatchin. Shinichiro Watanabe, who directed Cowboy Bebop, became a music producer for this anime's amazing soundtrack. Sayo Yamamoto, the director of award-winning anime Yuri on Ice, is the main director with full control on Michiko Hatchin, and the studio that brought these ideas together was Manglobe. There's a lot of great minds going into this show, so thankfully it ended up great. You can't go wrong with a show opening that starts with a prison break, and a very fun one at that. Then we have our opening theme. Dang, that is amazing. The colors, the animation, the jazzy vibes, it's all so good. I've even seen it on top anime opening lists, though it's no Cruel Angel's thesis. Elsewhere, we see a young girl named Hana. She lives a rough life with her foster family, basically acting as their slave, just so they can get money for adopting her. Hana's life changes when the prisoner that broke out crashes onto her dinner table. The prisoner is Michiko Melandro, Hana's mother. They escape together even though Hana doesn't know what's going on, let alone who Michiko is. Either way, Michiko is out of prison and found her daughter, so now she wants to look for Hana's father, Hiroshi Morenos. There's our setup from point A to a very far away point B. The weird part when it comes to a story summary is how the episodes feel episodic, but they're not exactly meant to be that way. Of course, things happen along the way, but the main plot is that Michiko and Hana are searching for Hiroshi. When Michiko talks about him, she fumbles her words and calls Hana by a different name. Hatchin. Michiko doesn't outright say why she calls her that, but there are a few implications, which is a main theme that I think I've noticed. The power of implication is strong in Michiko Hatchin, but you'll probably notice that when we get to it. You'll also notice by the title that this anime also goes by Finding Paradiso. That's the title for when it got an English dub, and I personally prefer it over Michiko Hatchin. It's in the adventure genre, and I feel that vibe a bit more from Finding Paradiso, but the title can imply more than that. The E in Michiko Hatchin is Spanish for the word and, though a Y would be used instead. Michiko and Hatchin. I thought the E was a stylistic choice until I realized that the anime takes place in Brazil, so they would be speaking and showing Portuguese. It has different wording conventions from Spanish, but I was able to follow the anime close enough even though my Spanish is limited. Back on track, Michiko Hatchin's adventure through South America is not only fun, but breathtaking. I've been to South America a few times, so I felt a little nostalgic seeing pueblos, river towns, and dense forests. The art style isn't your typical anime. If anything, it kinda reminds me of the Boondocks. There's a dirty yet sophisticated look. You can tell that a lot of respect and care was put into the scenery to look as true to life as possible. The movie Your Name had a style while its substance was pretty basic. Finding Paradiso has a style and a substance to be entertaining from beginning to end. Outside of the pretty backgrounds, a lot of that entertainment comes from how great the characters are. Michiko and Hatchin are mother and daughter, but they bicker like siblings. Naturally, Hatchin isn't trusting towards an escaped convict, especially one that doesn't act very motherly. Michiko is a foul-mouthed drunk. Hatchin is a 10-year-old who just entered a dangerous world. Oh yeah, in case you didn't know, the slums can be dangerous. The bar can be dangerous. The nice lady leaving her baby on the road is... You get the idea. Even still, Hatchin puts herself out there to find jobs and help Michiko search for Hiroshi. I won't talk about everything here as this is one show that is best watched blindly. I gave you the basics, so from here on I'll talk about specific details, but again, not everything. I won't even dare to spoil the ending as that especially deserves a personal perspective and opinion, though don't expect a fairy tale wrap-up. Finding Paradiso is a fantastic show with its animation, fun action, and realistic adventure in a realistic world, along with some fantastical elements. I won't say it's for everyone as it can get raunchy at times and a bit complicated when it gets to crime organization politics. There is a lot to dive into, but if you're looking for a hidden gem and have a day or two, then absolutely watch Michiko Hatchin. It's worth it. Plus, it's only 22 episodes, so it's short. With that out of the way, let's get into those specifics. We good? Good. As I said earlier, this is a point A to point B story with a lot of in-betweens. Characters and many plot lines come and go, sometimes to prove a point, other times to take you on a trip, most of the time for character development. Episode 4 sticks out in my mind. Michiko coincidentally comes across a stripper that knows Hiroshi. Michiko and Hatchin waits for her performance to end so she'll tell him what she knows. The stripper, Pepe, had a good life but it went downhill so she tried her best for her sister. Michiko and Pepe have a drinking contest while Hatchin is passed out from drinking. It was a distraction so Pepe could steal their IDs, but Michiko doesn't have anything. Instead, Pepe and her sister steal from the local gang. What happens from there? Well, you'll just have to see for yourself. That's typically how episodes go. Michiko and Hatchin end up in a town, gather some information on Hiroshi, and something happens. There are a few detours, however, they're a nice break from the journey. These detours are Hatchin-focused episodes, and I say they're some of the best parts of the show, though maybe that's just because she's my favorite character. Michiko gets a lot of focus too. There's one episode where she's caught in an affair with another man. It was so interesting to see her let her guard down for a man she's never met before. Oh, and this other Hatchin episode where a boy falls in love with her because she doesn't understand those kinds of feelings since she's only 10. That was hard to watch because she's been through so much and this is what broke her down. Each character, including side ones, are so good. There's an entire episode where we don't even see Michiko or Hatchin, and it was entertaining, considering it focused on a police officer that's been hunting them down, but was also Michiko's friend. The only other character I'll bring up is a mob boss named Satoshi Batista. My thoughts on him has changed so much even to the end. He held up a man's family and tortured the man with the same game he used on a younger Satoshi. Then we find out it was only business, a mean to an end no matter how cruel. Like, dang. Satoshi is a recurring character, by the way. Basically, life sucks. But there are good moments. I had a great time watching through Finding Paradiso, or Michiko Hatchin. If I keep getting recommended great anime like this, then I might as well become Anime Satsu or something. Anyway, final thoughts. I read online that Michiko Hatchin is underrated, and judging from its view counts on YouTube, it seems that way compared to the millions that other anime get. If that's the case, please watch this anime. Even the English dub is fantastic. I don't think I have an outright negative criticism for the show. Sure, I have nitpicks, but nothing worth mentioning. The story alone is amazing. The style is icing on the cake. The music is another layer to that icing. For a final thing to bring up, Hiroshi was last seen in a bus explosion. This is told from episode 1, but Michiko and Hatchin continue to search for him. Is he dead? Again, you're just gonna have to watch to find out, and hopefully you do.